There's a block, Stetson, first down and more. Devontae Williams gets a great lead block out there for steal, and the ball comes out. Chicago says they have it. They do. Tyreek Stevenson punched it out after the long run of 26. Here the Bears, a little flick to Swift, trying to get a flea flicker. It's way up there. Williams recovers, throws a seed, has a man. It is caught for a touchdown. Luther Burden's first in the league. Back, zips one, and it's picked off. Kevin Byard's got it for the Bears, and that will officially seal the deal.
Bear down, Chicago Bears. Bears Victory Monday, baby. It's a Bears Victory Monday. It's a Bears live platform for all of you Bears fans out there. Some of you who believed, some of you who didn't believe, and some of you who are still kind of negative about what's going on with the Chicago Bears. Bears beat the Dallas Cowboys 31-14 yesterday. Wanted to come on and give you guys kind of a live platform. We're going to start doing this a little bit more with Coombs and Fitz. We're going to start doing this a little bit more after Bears games, probably more on a Sunday night as opposed to a Monday afternoon. But some of the things that I'm hearing today kind of got me a little bit hyped and kind of got me to the point where I was like, you know what? I've got to get on the air. I texted Fitzy, who is at work. You know, he's got one of those big boy jobs, those real jobs where, you know, you can't just take some time off and do a show at noon when I decide at 10:30 in the morning that I'm going to go live at noon. But we are here. And look, the Bears played a good game. That Bears team that we saw yesterday was the Bears team that we've wanted to see all season long, right? And feel free to leave me comments in the chat as well. Let me know how you felt about the game yesterday, so that way I can interact with you. We can talk about things that you guys want to talk about as well. But this Bears team yesterday was everything that we wanted this Bears team to be. It was everything that we wanted it to be, obviously from week one, because once you sign Ben Johnson and you have Caleb Williams and you have the roster that you have that you expect to be very good, I think Bears fans expected to see that right away. I also think that realistically, we had to give this some time. And this is something that I told Fitz, who had been losing his mind for the first couple of weeks about this team, and rightfully so, right? Because we talk about Bears traumatic stress disorder all the time, BTSD. This Bears team that showed up yesterday was the Bears team we'd been waiting to see. And I keep hearing all of these takes, whether it's on 670 The Score or on ESPN or on ESPN 1000. I keep hearing all of these takes. Well, it was just the Cowboys. Let's calm down a little bit. They only beat the Cowboys. But if they had lost to the Cowboys, you would have killed them. You would have been like, we can't even, this team that went up against Russell Wilson, and Russell Wilson put up 37 points, and we can't even, blah, blah, blah. That would have been the take today. But now because they win, it's almost like Bears fans and people who cover this team can't enjoy it, not because they can't enjoy it, but because I think in our heads we're still like, okay, well, here we go. We've been duped before. But this is a team that yesterday took a Cowboys team who had scored 60 points in the first 2 weeks, 20 in week one against Philadelphia, 40 last week versus the Giants. And this Bears team held them down to 14 points. This Bears team had a great game. And this Bears team is starting to show some semblance of what you wanted it to be. So let's enjoy that. Let's enjoy the Bears victory. Let's enjoy what is going on at Hallis Hall. Let's enjoy the way Ben Johnson took this team and said, hey, look, we're going to hold you accountable. I'm going to call you out in the media. I'm going to tell people you're not practicing like a championship team. I'm going to tell people you're doing things that I don't want to see you do anymore. And now I'm going to hold you accountable. And that's something that we've been screaming for the last, 40 years, but at least ever since Lovie Smith has been gone, about changing the culture. Having a winning culture in this city changes things, because you have a culture now where Ben Johnson, you watched Ben Johnson in that locker room yesterday after that win, and my God. I mean, I saw a video where it compared it to the first victory, Eberflus's first victory speech afterwards. You go back and you listen to Matt Nagy's first victory speech afterwards, and then you listen to the way that locker room sounded yesterday. Completely different. Completely different. And for people to still be out here and to be negative about this, it was just the Cowboys stink. Yeah, you know what? That defense is not very good. That defense is coached by the same guy who just coached us for the last 3 years, and we sat there and we watched this team and we watched what he was as the Bears head coach. Sorry, for the last 4 years as the Bears head coach, and we knew what they were. But he wanted to come in here and he wanted to show everybody that he wasn't the problem. He wanted to come in here and he wanted his defense to show up and do exactly what the Bears defense did to the Cowboys offense. And he wanted to turn that around on the Bears offense. But he couldn't. And why? Because Ben Johnson's game plan, because of the way the Bears players responded, and because of the way that they were able to do things. And the defense showed up yesterday. The defense played great against a really good Cowboys offense. Now, CeeDee Lamb getting taken out of the equation, does that help the Bears? Of course it helps the Bears. They lose their best wide receiver. Of course that helps that football team. That helps your defense. That team is down. They're down their best player. So when you are looking at the Bears in week 3, and if you can't enjoy what you saw because you're just like, oh, well, it's just the Cowboys. There are only 17 games in an NFL schedule. You have to beat the team that is on your schedule. And you can't just be like, oh, it was just the Cowboys. If at the end of the day, if they would have lost the game, you would have been like, I can't believe we lost to the Cowboys. Relax. Enjoy what you see in front of you. The Bears now go against the Las Vegas Raiders, a Raiders team that has not looked very good, right? If the Bears beat the Las Vegas Raiders, are you going to say, oh, well, yeah, it was just the Raiders? Oh, well, we lose to it. We beat another bad team. No, you enjoy the victory. And then they have the bye week, and then they play the Saints, another very bad football team, before they go to Cincinnati and to Baltimore in back-to-back weeks. In Cincinnati, obviously without Joe Burrow, is that going to be the thing too? If the Bears end up beating them as well, and all of a sudden the Bears are sitting there, at what would that make them? That would make them 3, 4, 5-2, and then heading into Baltimore as a 5-2 football team. I mean, you guys have to take the good with the bad. Is this team exactly what you wanted it to be from the outset? No. But it's going to take time. Ben Johnson takes time. Doubting Thomas. What's going on, Doubting Thomas? He's got the Ben Johnson moniker. I love it. When was the last time we had a more than competent head coach? Lovie Smith. Lovie Smith was the last time the Bears had a more than competent head coach. When was the last time we had an offensive genius as a head coach? Never. Look, that play, you heard it in the open. All credit goes out to Fox Sports for that open and the highlights. You look at what the Bears did yesterday, the flea flicker, the Tyreek Stevenson taking the ball away from Javonte Williams, who's been having a great start to the season. He's hitting the sideline and he's taking off, and you're like, oh God, here we go. Here goes this Cowboys offense. They're going to put up 50 again today. We're going to watch this again. And then all of a sudden, Tyreek Stevenson reaches in there and he takes that ball away, right? He takes the ball away, and all of a sudden the Bears are off and running. And then Caleb goes down, throws a dart to Roma Dunze, leads Dunze to the end zone. Fantastic pass. You get the flea flicker, the very next possession after the Cowboys go three and out. And on a dime to Luther Burden, who damn near dropped the ball, but on a dime to Luther Burden on a very beautiful designed play. And the Bears were off and running. And I got to tell you guys, I too, at halftime, I was like, how are they going to lose this one? we're up 24-14 at halftime. How do they lose this one? Because they're going to find a way to lose this one, right? But they didn't. They didn't. Marco, what's going on, Marco? Beating these Cowboys is like changing your underwear. You're supposed to, but people notice when you don't. Beating Eberflus isn't the flex. That Cowboy team is the same tier as the 0-3 Giants, the upcoming Raiders, Saints, Bengals. Fool's gold until rattling off a few W's. Yeah, you're hitting the nail on it. You're hitting it on the head. Trustman's first season was fun offensively, and so was Nagy's. I mean, Nagy's first season, it was fun defensively too. But that team was pretty damn good. They were 12-4 that season in 2018. And then they lose on the double doink because they didn't have a kicker. And they knew all year they didn't have a kicker. But this Bears team, you've got to beat the bad teams on your schedule. You've got to. Because if you lose to the bad teams too, and you're only 500 against the good teams, it's going to be bad in a nutshell. It's going to be a bad season. So you have to, it can't just be, oh, well, they beat the Cowboys. They beat an offense that was zooming. They beat an offense that put up 20 on the Eagles, which is a really good defense. They beat an offense that took it to the Giants and put up 40 the week before, and they held them to 14. This team was good all the way around yesterday. People want to talk about, you want to talk about Caleb Williams and all of these things, right? And Caleb Williams this and Caleb Williams that. But through 3 games, 238 yards per game, 7 passing touchdowns, and a 107.6 passer rating. He's 9th in yards per game in the NFL amongst quarterbacks, obviously. 1st in touchdown passes and 6th in passer rating. A 107.6 passer rating through the first 3 weeks. You want to put that into perspective. Jalen Hurts is 3-0 on the reigning Super Bowl champions. Won a Super Bowl last year. 159.6 yards a game, 3 passing touchdowns, and 100.5 passer rating. We could probably compare it to other quarterbacks as well, but I don't really care to play the comparison game because you're looking at different offenses, different offensive lines, different weapons, different defenses that they're playing, different schemes. All that stuff kind of goes out the window. You look at the team that's in front of you. You look at what this Bears team is in front of you. And yesterday, it was a damn good football team. I'm surprised too. I'm surprised it was a good football team because we haven't seen it. And I've said from the beginning, I have to see it translate on the field before I can believe it. Bears were 1.5-point underdogs. They are 1.5-point underdogs again this week versus the Raiders. I expect that to change. I think the betting market will change that, especially after that Bears win. They get the Raiders. Raiders haven't looked very good. Geno Smith, I believe, has been sacked 12 times in the first 3 weeks. I bet my guess is Vegas and the bookmakers want you to bet the Bears, and they're playing the Raiders to -1.5 so that people will start betting the Bears at plus money. And then by the end of the week, by the time this thing goes, just the same way it did, because the Bears opened up last week, the Bears were 1.5-point favorites. The Bears were -1.5 to start the week. And when it came time to kickoff, they were 1.5-point dogs. So the open market is different, right? Because the week before, they opened up against Detroit as a 6-point dog. I thought that was a slap in the face. I thought opening up as a 6-point dog versus a team that they've played well against over the last 2 years with much worse coaching and a lesser roster was a slap in the face. Now, you give up 52 points to the Detroit Lions, and all of a sudden that -6, it made you look stupid. But when it opens up like that, you're like, damn. But this is just the market. I mean, this is the way Vegas wants you to go. They might even want you to be taking the Raiders.
at -1.5. All right, what are the Raiders going to do? The Raiders were supposed to be good. They're playing in the AFC West. The Chiefs look like they can be got this year. You start looking at these teams that they're playing against, and you get the Raiders and you get the Saints, and then you get a downed Bengals team who did not look very good yesterday with Jake Browning under center. Now, Jake Browning, I think, is better than what he played yesterday. I think Jake Browning is kind of a mix of leading that team on that comeback 2 weeks ago and what he was yesterday. I think he's like somewhere in the middle of that, right? Not great, but good enough, a good enough backup to get you through a few weeks. Now he's going to have to get you through 3 months. I don't know how that's going to go for the Bengals, but I mean, we'll see. I like what I saw from the Bears team yesterday, and I'm out here and I'm listening to all of these people talk about negatively about this Bears win. Oh, calm down. It was just the Cowboys. Calm. You guys got to stop that, man. You guys got to stop that. Enjoy the win. I had to calm my boy Fitz down last night, and he was talking about the Bears and they did this and calm down, man. Enjoy the victory. We've got to be able to enjoy these victories because even if they don't, even if Ben Johnson is the wrong guy, and even if Caleb Williams is the wrong guy, and even if this team doesn't eventually mature into a playoff team next season, because I still don't think, even after 1 week, I still don't think they're a playoff team this year. Do I think they can be better? Do I think they can be a 7 to 8 win team, 9 win team? Possibly, especially with that win yesterday. So I don't think they're a playoff team, but next year they should be. But even if they don't mature into it, you still have to enjoy the victories that you get. You still have to enjoy out of 17 games, hey, they win 7, 8, 9 of them. On the days that they look good, you have to enjoy it. Because we don't get that much as Bears fans. Ever since Ryan Poles says he was going to take the North, I believe they won 3, then they won 7, then they won 5, then they won 3. Like, it's got to be better than what it was. And that's what you have to enjoy as a Bears fan. And people have to start looking at that. And Bears fans, what we have to do is we have to detach ourselves somehow, some way. We have to detach ourselves from the organization that we've known. I still hope the McCaskies sell the team before they build a new stadium. I still hope that's a thing. I still hope we can get an owner in here that actually wants to win and knows how to run a football team. Because I know George McCaskey is not that guy. I still don't believe in Ryan Poles. I get all that. I'm with you guys when we talk about that stuff. I don't like his draft picks. I don't like some of the things that he's done. But I still have to give him credit when things go right. And right now, Ben Johnson looks like he's going to get things going right. And you have to enjoy that. And even if it's just a win against the Cowboys, and even if it's just a win against the Raiders, and even if it's just a win against the Saints, and even if it's just a win against a really bad Bengals defense and Jake Browning, hell, 3 more wins, you're sitting at 4-2. Heading into Baltimore, feeling good about yourself, building up confidence. They do it all the time in college football. When you see college football teams, and you see Alabama playing against UL Monroe, you see Alabama playing against Caltech Poly, you see all these college teams do it. You got to beat the bad teams, because if they lose those games to UL Monroe and to Caltech Poly, you're going to murder them. Oh, this team doesn't belong in the playoffs. Oh, this team shouldn't be that. But then they go out and they beat LSU and they beat Georgia and they do all this other stuff, and all of a sudden they prove again that they belong. Got to build the confidence. And I think that's what the Bears are on their way to doing. I think that's what the Bears are doing with Caleb Williams. I think that's what the Bears are doing with this coaching staff. I think that's what the Bears are doing with this roster. You build confidence. And that's a big win against a Dallas Cowboys team that a lot of us expected to compete with the Philadelphia Eagles for the East. Now, that defense is really, really bad. We should have known that. Eberflus is coaching that defense. For all the we're going to give him an extra year because he helped out the defense. We knew that wasn't the case here in Chicago. you've got to allow for the Bears to get this thing right. And you have to enjoy the wins. You can't just be down when, it's just this team. Oh, it's just that team. If you're just going to say every team that they beat is bad, okay. But I hope you're saying that 11 times a year. Do I expect them to go out there and beat a team like the Baltimore Ravens, who I believe are going to win the Super Bowl this year, who I believe Lamar Jackson is going to win his 3rd MVP? No. But if they're competitive, it's more fun, right? If they don't lose that game 52 to 24 like they did to Detroit, it's improvement. If they go out and somehow find a way to win that game, then what? Doubting Thomas says, as bad as it looked at times, Caleb Williams now has 27 touchdowns against 7 interceptions in his career. Yeah, look, he, through the first 3 games this year, has, and I didn't understand, and you heard me yesterday talk about it, Doubting Thomas. I didn't understand the hate for Caleb Williams. I didn't understand Caleb Williams taking the blame for this team when he had accounted for all of the touchdowns that the Bears have scored. As a matter of fact, the Bears, they did, right? They scored a rushing touchdown yesterday, didn't they? I believe they did. But they hadn't scored a rushing touchdown at all this season up until yesterday. And Caleb had accounted for all of the touchdowns that they've scored. Caleb didn't give up 52 points to the Detroit Lions. Caleb didn't give up, the 17-6 lead in the 4th quarter against the Minnesota Vikings versus a team that couldn't throw a forward pass. They did not score a rushing touchdown yesterday. I stand corrected. So they still have not scored a rushing touchdown, other than the one that Caleb rushed for one. So Caleb's accounted for all of the touchdowns that the Bears have scored with his arm and with his legs. So for him to get the flack on this team, it just makes no sense. 107 passer rating. He is, I believe, 6th in the league in passer rating. He's tied for 1st in touchdown passes with Aaron Rodgers. Tied with Aaron Rodgers for touchdown passes. That's 7. He's got 4 more than he's got 4 more than Jalen Hurts. He's got, pulling it up here, he's got, let's see, touchdowns. Tied with Rodgers. He's got 1 more than Goff. He's got 1 more than Baker. He's got 1 more than Lamar. 1 more than Justin Herbert. 2 more than Matthew Stafford. 2 more than Josh Allen. 2 more than Jordan Love. So when you look at, and then you look at his passer rating, right? I said he's 6th. He's behind Lamar Jackson, Carson Wentz, who has only started 1 game, and he had a good game. He's behind Jared Goff. He's behind Marcus Mariota, again, 1 game, had a decent game. He's behind Daniel Jones, and he's behind Josh Allen and Jordan Love. So you look at what the Bears have done to this point, and you look at what Caleb Williams has done to this point, and you have to be happy with the way that you've seen them grow, with the way that you've seen Caleb develop, with the way that you've seen this coaching staff develop, with the way you've seen this roster develop. Montez Sweat looked good yesterday. It'd be great if they could get Austin Booker healthy. Austin Booker looked like he's going to be a monster. So this Bears team could continue what they're doing. They could continue it versus the Raiders. They could continue it versus the Saints. Absolutely. 2 more bad teams. And then you want to see them go to Cincinnati, and you want to see them take care of business there. And then you want to see them go to Baltimore. And if they don't win the game, at least be competitive in the game. And then you want to, beyond Baltimore, I've said before, for as tough as this Bears schedule is, it kind of lined up nicely for them because they don't have any gauntlets back to back minus the Ravens and Bengals. Sorry, they get the Ravens first before they go to Cincinnati. I mix those two up. So then you get the Giants. Then you get the Vikings again. Another divisional game. You want to get retribution there. Then you get the Steelers. Don't look like world beaters this year. And you get to, God, please take it to Aaron Rodgers. And then you've got the Eagles and the Packers. And then the Browns. And then the Packers, Niners, Lions to close out the season. Yes, this can be an 8-9 win football team still. I said it yesterday. If they're going to be an 8-9 win football team, they've got to beat this Dallas Cowboys team, and they went out and did it. I didn't expect it to happen, but it happened, and I had fun watching it. I enjoyed every aspect of that game, and if that's the new norm, even if they're not winning a football game, but they're at least competitive and they're looking like that, I'm good with it. If this defense comes out and they're starting to take balls away from the way Tyreek Stevenson took that ball away from Javonte Williams yesterday, I don't think that gives enough play either, because Tyreek Stevenson gets a lot of the blame last year with the Hail Mary, right? And he's celebrating and he's not paying attention, and then he tips the ball and he tips it backwards into the end zone where it gets caught, and then the Bears go on a 10-game losing streak. Tyreek Stevenson heading into that game, and I was all about Tyreek Stevenson, and I was his hype train. Tyreek Stevenson is a damn good cornerback. I think he's just as good as Jalen Johnson, if not better. And the way he went out there yesterday and he took that ball away from Javonte Williams, people got to give him more credit for that play, man, because that sets the tone. If he doesn't do that and then they go and they score right away, right off the bat, and this is a 7-0 deficit, instead of getting the ball back and it's 0-0 and you stopped and you just could be a completely different outcome. But it wasn't. Tyreek Stevenson deserves that credit. Tyreek Stevenson deserves to be that guy. So you guys have to enjoy it. You got to give Tyreek Stevenson his due. You got to give this team its due. Regardless of who they're playing, you have to enjoy it. So, yeah, I again, we're going to come on here we're going to start doing it on Sundays after the games. I wanted to come on today because I was hearing all of the negativity around this Bears victory, and I wanted to come on today and give everybody a platform to come on in and comment and do all this stuff. I know it's Monday afternoon. I know it's only 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock on the East Coast. So I get it. But you guys have to enjoy what is in front of you. And I don't know where it's going to lead. Could go out next week. Absolutely, they could go out next week and lose to the Raiders. And then we're right back to, oh, God, here we go again. But enjoy it while it lasts, because I expect this thing to last. I expect the team that we saw yesterday to show up week in and week out from here on out. I expected it starting in week 1, but it took a couple of weeks. So enjoy it. All right, guys. I'm going to get the hell out of here. Let you guys enjoy your Monday. Get back to work. Don't get in trouble for watching me on YouTube or Twitter or, X or Facebook. Go enjoy your week. It's a Bears victory. We'll see you guys next Sunday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Tell your friends. Tell your neighbors. Tell your enemies.